Oh, we're live. Hey, everybody, this is JD. I'm going to hand it over to our host with the most, John, without the kids.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Comic Core Unlimited. There is nothing wrong with your screen. This is not Chad. This is not Paul. This is not Bueller. This is not Catrin. This is not Seawood. This is none of the original faces. This is the Comic Core Unlimited coming to you every other Wednesday. We are very grateful to the original crew for giving us this opportunity to do something kind of different on this really special channel. And we're excited to share with you the format that we've kind of come up with this last couple of weeks. But first, I want to give a chance to let these gentlemen introduce themselves, introduce a little bit about their channels, so you can get an idea of what we're hoping to bring to all of you. So let's start with Comic Spector. Israel, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great. I'm really happy to be here. Man, seems like it's been forever since we started talking about this, and we're finally here. Man, it's been a little bit of a long road, and I'm really looking forward to everything that we're going to talk about tonight and our future shows.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen Comic Spector before, he's got a great channel, but he's also like super auction guy. I see him every time I jump into a cool auction. He's in there. He's selling great books. So he is a guy with a real finger on the pulse of comics these days. Then let's jump over to Mr. Comics Misexplained. Jason, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, man. I just woke up like 10 minutes ago. I apologize. Yeah, one of my pugs knocked off my phone. So, my phone fell off the charger and, no alarm went off when I was supposed to get up like 2 hours ago. So very upset. But other than that, doing well. My channel is mostly, or it was to start off making parody videos. So it's just a lot of fictional stories I made up digital and photoshopped, and then it went on to comic book reviews, and I got more involved in the community, met all you wonderful people, and here I am. So yeah, it's been a fun trip, and looking forward to the rest of tonight.
Thanks so much for joining us. This is a really cool group, and we have to go to the man who helped set up the live stream for us, the camera operator, the Chad for our channel, Mr. JD. How you doing, brother?
Good. Thanks for having me on, everybody. I apologize. My internet's having a little bit of issues right now. I hope it's not a big deal. Real excited about doing this. We are the Crisis of Infinite Jerks. So
that does seem to be the way this Comic Core is so full of what you could put air quotes around talent, I guess. I definitely wanted to say, so I'm John's Comics with Kids. If you don't know my channel and my girls, we are big comic enthusiasts, big readers in our house, and we love to share the things that we've been reading. And we generally make a mockery of most everything. So I hope that's enjoyable to everybody as well. I wanted to throw a huge thank you to Chad and Bueller and those guys for really putting a lot of faith in us and helping us come up with this opportunity to do this show with all of you. We are doing a show that's going to have several segments that you can count on enjoying each time that you tune in. Things about the market, things about conventions, things about the reading that we're going to be doing that we enjoy. We noticed that all four of us aren't huge pull list people, unlike the show that runs on Fridays where they're talking about the books they pulled. We don't often have that many books that we're pulling each week. Instead, we are the hunters. We are looking for those books out there that complete collection runs for us. Stories that we care about, and we'll be sharing a lot of that with you. The Comic Core, if you don't know, the mission statement usually involves positivity, comic books, and community, and we really want to continue all of those things in this show that we do every other Wednesday. The idea of spending time with people you care about and enjoy, talking about comic books, and really shedding a light on those things that you feel are powerful and positive in this community. So our first segment of the night is going to be about what are you reading? We've all got things that we are enjoying. Sometimes it's something older that you're catching up on, something new that you just finally got around to reading. So the leader for this segment is going to be Jason. Jason, what are you reading?
What I read today was the new Detective Comics, and by Tomasi. I think he's been doing an amazing job, and the one especially today was really good. Very strange. Almost like Tom King has his weird, strange stuff too that he's been doing with Batman, his nightmares. But I feel like this was kind of Tomasi's version of nightmares in a way.
Oh, we got to click on to move the chat over to Jason. I think I'm stuck on the screen there.
And so Tomasi's Batman has been very good. New Heroes in Crisis. I did get a chance to read that today, and although I'm not a fan of Heroes in Crisis, today's issue was probably the most likable one in my opinion. It was pretty interesting. I think my favorite part was what's his name, the caveman guy. Is it
You're gonna spoil the New Heroes in Crisis? I haven't even read it yet.
No. You didn't read it. No,
okay.
Narc, this old caveman dude named Narc, and he just quotes like a lot of philosophy, and it's pretty amazing. So he has like broken English speak, and then he goes into like this huge philosophical speech multiple times throughout the book, and I think those are the highlights in my opinion. But we'll talk about Heroes in Crisis later on. John and I.
I forgot to shout out the chat real quick. There's obviously a lot of people in the chat.
Yes.
I screwed up. Please. I know that Seawood is way better at this than me, so apologies right off the bat. But Thanatos is in here right away. And, of course, all the crew, the Comic Core crew is definitely here in support, and we appreciate Bueller, Seawood, Catrin Figures was second in the door. Mr. Gretzky and Sam Stangled Weber in here. Nerdy Couch Fire Davis. Let's see. 90 MF Comics. Perry Comics, Lotus of the Long Box just dropped off the air, and they jumped right in here. So appreciate that support. Stay Puff, Roger Heller. Let's see. I said Seawood already. Boy Who Talks Comics is in here. Comic Head 84. Ed D. Comic Spector, you're in here, but you're in there.
What?
Home of the New York Warriors. Yeah, it's Inception. Stacy's Weekly Comic Book Picks is here. Let's see. I think I got most everybody. Comic Books NYC, JP Budget Collecting, the Great Legend. Good to have you, sir. Thank you for the support. Jeffrey Comic Con, and then I got issues, and Fire Guy Ryan are in here, and I got issues. Says nobody's paying attention to him. We love you. We support you, Panda. We are here for you, and we appreciate your support.
Love the Panda.
Sorry. What else? Anything else that you're reading or catching up on or enjoying, Jason? Sorry.
I just got in. Our friends, Whitewall, Alex, Missing Pieces. So number 1, 2, and 3. So I'm very, very excited to read this. It's probably the first thing I'm going to read. Much love to Whitewall and Alec. Also got a lot of trades in this insane stack.
Oh my gosh!
Hey,
yes.
Hey, honey.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to hold that
up. Get
up.
off the internet.
You got to hold that one up. Let me look through there.
All right. So we got Batman, Long Halloween.
I know it. Some people really hate it. I absolutely love Long Halloween.
I hear a very polar thing too as well. Animal Man, New 52. First little volume of that.
Man, I don't know it.
Blackest Night.
Ooh, nice.
I have it, and I'm not allowed to read it because I was told you need the Green Lantern Blackest Night, you need Blackest Night regular, and you need Green Lantern Core Blackest Night. You need all three.
You should get the omnibus.
Yeah, I plan to. I actually plan on getting the Jeff Johns kind of whole entire Omni run. Thanatos is doing a nice little rundown with Boy Who Had 7, and so I'm going to really try to keep up with their reading crew. So we'll see if we can.
The chat is freaking out for the Long Halloween. The chat loves the Long Halloween.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I'm excited to finally have it. Same thing with Batman Black Mirror.
I've never read that.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, it's so good. The art inside is really like fun, and there's a lot of certain colors and kind of images like that. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, you'll be introduced to James Gordon's son. Also, Batman Year One, Frank Miller.
Oh, now did you know Mazzucchelli, the artist, was one of Whitewall Comics' art teachers in college?
No way.
Wow, that is awesome.
That's incredible. Wow. Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. Because I did a little breakdown with my daughters on Year One with Kate, and Alec was in the chat or in the comment section telling me all about just enjoying having him as a teacher.
That rules. Also, as you guys know, I recently got Creepy hardcover.
You've always
edition.
been creepy.
Oh, you know it. All about live that creepy life, man. Gotta live that creepy life. But yeah, I'm looking forward to also eventually getting the Bernie Wrightson kind of special edition of Creepy as well. But yeah, these are harder to collect and find in good condition, so excited to even have just the hardcover edition. And then, as you guys know, I've been on an old school, Eerie magazine, Vamp Relicate, which I've been collecting as well. So I got a lot of reading.
Yeah, you got some great Vamp covers. Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, just swamped. With stuff to read. But yeah, what have you guys been reading?
Yeah, Jason. Sorry, we'll go over to Israel. What have you been reading, brother? Anything good?
Well, I just recently picked up a set of books, and it's Scott Snyder's Batman with Greg Capullo, the three book. Yeah, the whole Court of Owls and.
Is it an omnibus then?
No, it's three separate books, but it's the Court of Owls, City of Owls, and Death of the Family.
Those are the best three in the lot. I gotta say, I own all three.
I figured it was a good place to start because I think there's three sets of three that they've done. So I grabbed the first set of three, and right now I'm working on the Court of Owls, and man, I think that the storytelling and the artwork is absolutely phenomenal. The way that they portray Batman in this title is just he's like the absolute master of Gotham City, but then it's like he knew about the Court of Owls, but they were just kind of like they were like the boogeymen, right? Like like way back, it was like they were just ominous. They were an ominous force, and then it was like they weren't really around. And then it comes to light that no, they've been around the entire time, just hiding in the shadows. So I'm working on this, and then I got the other two books in it that I got to read, and my gosh, it's just the story, the development. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those books that hits on all marks for me, like art, writing, covers. Like there's no weak link, and not a lot of books can do that trifecta. Have you read anything past Death of the Family?
Not like I know there's a huge gap.
I haven't.
I've read a lot of the newer stuff, but that's a huge gap. I mean, like from issue, what is it, 50? The wedding debacle.
Yeah, I've read from the wedding on, but between Death of the Family and the wedding, I've got like a giant blank space.
I'm right there with you, man. It's the same way for me. But man, I picked this was actually one of the first things I picked up when I started collecting again, and I started reading it, and then I put it down, and then I started reading it again like this last week, and I was just like blown away by Snyder's just storytelling, man. It was, gosh, so good.
So Fire Guy Ryan says this is the first chat he's been in where he's actually read most of the books that people are talking about. It's like he's really into it. And it sounds like Great Legend said he read a bunch of the first 12 issues up to issue 16 on the Morrison run.
Oh.
I don't know if he's talking about Animal Man or not, because I know they're all talking about Animal Man too.
Yeah, they're really hot on that. Woo!
Yeah. JD, what are you reading these days, brother?
Well, I just finished the Darth Vader run. The one just ended. And I just finished number 25. And this is probably one of my favorite runs. Charles Soule, being a big Star Wars fan, the whole Darth Vader run, kind of, it's canon and it leads into some movies, but more or less it's like it's delving into the character after he gets his suit the first time, how he gets his red lightsaber, to all the way into him hunting down the Jedi and his internal conflicts and how there is still good in him, but there isn't anymore. And when he starts to lose, phenomenal read. I do recommend between Jody Houser's Throne.
I think the camera is stuck on me, JD. Sorry. Everybody's staring at me for some reason.
You're so handsome.
All right. Now it's on me about that. Yeah. So anyway, it's Darth Vader. The 25 issues, and it's our first day, so we can make a few mistakes.
Yeah.
It's just solid right there. Also, what I'm doing, I decided to read the entire Strange Tales Doctor Strange versions. And just as an example of one here.
I don't know that I've read that many of Doctor Strange.
And really. This is exactly the one I'm up to. I don't know if I'm phrasing up, but it's solid. It's just real good. I recommend.
Sorry, JD. I think you're freezing up on us, buddy. But I've got a few of those Doctor Stranges, and I've heard good things.
Good.
I'm a huge fan of the old classic Doctor Strange. Just man, I feel like the artwork back then and the storytelling is just superb.
Yeah, I mean the cover work, the interior work, the way the dialogue goes back between Stephen Strange, and he's much darker in the book than he is the movie.
Yes.
Made him immediately turn into this, like he changed his whole life around right away, but that's not the case with him. He's an obnoxious prick pretty much his entire career on both sides. It's very different. And the introduction of Baron Mordo and the introduction of the Ancient One being in the very first issues very early on, while it's not exactly like the film, it does delve into the exact same story. I think going back and rereading it made me appreciate the movie more. So that gives you a good example of something. And it's on Marvel Unlimited, which is really the best buy you can get for $10 a month. You can sit there in a meeting. If you don't want to pay attention, sit there and say, I'm just going to do this. So that's what I do. So.
Well, that's awesome. I would say what I've been reading is probably a little more modern, or a little more modern from some of that stuff. The reason I've got Mr. Miracle hanging out here is because I've been finally catching up on the Tom King run of Mr. Miracle. I snagged this book for $1, but I've been reading from my trade. I am a fan of trades, and I just like either Marvel Unlimited or this. It saves my books, and I can enjoy the trade instead. I knew that I wanted to read it because everyone was telling me how amazing it was, and then Alec and I Got Issues did their amazing live stream on it a week ago Friday, and I was so pumped that I got it read just under the wire so that I could enjoy that chat because it was absolutely fantastic. And they're doing part 2 this coming Friday, so definitely look for those guys in that show. But it was a great way to break it down, and it made me start hunting for some of these first. I had Mr. Miracle, but then I was like, now I got to get Big Barda, and my buddy who sold me the first Miracle sold me the Big Barda to go with it. So I was like, yes,
Very
and
nice.
I completed that run.
Dude, that rules. I did the exact same thing after I read Mr. Miracle, the new one, and I wanted to get the older ones. You know, of course, they're pricey and hard to hunt down, and but still one I still might pull the plug on is probably a first appearance of Granny Goodness. I got to get a Granny Goodness in there.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I've been slowly getting all those early Dark Side appearances. You know, I've got the 2 cameos. I'm working on the Forever People number 1.
Yeah, I have the Jimmy Olsen one.
Yeah, I've got the 2 Jimmy Olsens. Yeah. And then again, awesome. I'm working on getting this run in the individual issues, but most of the the first prints are hard to find. You might, if you guys are looking, that's a challenge.
How long did it take? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was to say I just need the last 2 or 3 issues for for Mr. Miracle, but I do have all of the whole entire series, single first print. Very excited to have those, and same thing with the same way. Not to get off topic, but with Batman White Knight. I ended up getting every single one first print. So, and a lot of second, third prints too, because I just went fanatic on that. But I'm sorry, I digress. Please continue, Spector.
I was just gonna ask for that trade that you picked up there, John. How long of a read was that? Is it a pretty thick book or?
It's a pretty thick book, but it's only 12 issues. It's just it's really you can't skim it. Like it's really heady. There's a lot happening. I mean, some of the pages they do a lot of those. I know that. They do a lot of those 9 panels where you get like 9 of the same drawing, more or less. It's subtle changes as it's going across. So there's a lot of pages like that. And there's not as much reading on the pages, but if you're not watching closely, you might miss things. It's very, it's like a really good television series. It's going to demand a lot from the reader and the viewer to really stay involved and get all the pieces that are going on, because they're not just going to explain it to you. There's no crappy exposition, as Alec would say.
That's awesome. Yeah, I looked into it a little bit, and I think I saw like the last issue of it, and then I was like, oh my gosh, because I'm a huge Mr. Miracle fan, and so I was like, man, I missed that entire run. So I'm gonna have to go out and pick that up and probably start working. I'll start working on getting the individual issues backwards.
Yeah. And I know that they're touring right now. I think Tom King and Mitch Gerads did a thing at a Barnes and Noble in New York, and I Got Issues was able to go and listen to them and get a signed book. And I want to say D Comic Queen had a similar experience. They were at a Barnes and Noble near her, and they had the graphic novel there, and they were signing, and so they're on a book tour with it. Those two guys right now, the artist and the writer.
Yeah, I love both of them are great in their own ways. But I mean, the artist.
What else has the
Jared's,
artist done? Because I've never heard of him before.
Yeah, he's done. He does some. You see his latest Batman one with the Professor Pig.
No.
Yes.
No, that was a trip. That was a trip.
It was. Yeah, that art was crazy.
Yeah. So he did the interior work on just that one issue.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, yeah, I do have that issue. Okay, that's the same guy, Mitch. Is it Jared's?
Yeah, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Yeah, I was going to meet him at New York Comic Con, and I was bummed he wasn't there. But yeah, great artist.
Okay, well, I'm going to move us into our second segment. We're just ahead of schedule, which is awesome. I'm super excited for us so far. The second segment we're going to be doing during this con season that we're into right now is a convention watch. And this particular one, JD's got a little bit of a breakdown on what he's noticing for conventions that you might be interested in hearing about. JD.
All right, everybody. Real simple here. The convention scene. I'm a big con goer too, and con scene kind of kicks into the swing real early here. We had a few cons last week. I'm just going to go over a few that are coming up. One this weekend, if you're in the Florida area, West Palm Beach. A few people there that are really good. You got Alan Bellman, one of the original Captain America Series 1 people, is still alive. He's in his 90s. Still does sketches. So if you're interested in that, great.
He still does sketches in his 90s. That is killer.
90s. Yep. Donnie Cates awesome. There. Bob McCown and Chris Claremont for all you New Mutants fans. Greg Horn will be there. For those who like good girl art. Don Rosa from the Disney days. And I'm going to try to include all ages of writers and artists and stuff in there. And one celebrity I noticed that some of you guys in the chat might like is Jake the Snake Roberts will be there in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Oh boy.
Now there's a lot of local mini cons that I'm not going to mention because they don't have anybody there, but you can go to a source called Convention Scene. That's what I use a lot. And I have a mini con this weekend at the Comfort Inn here in town. It's real small, but it's great for diving. I mean, it's great $1 bin, 50-cent bin, and there's a lot of key guys there too. So it's mostly guys from Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, Omaha, Nebraska, and Missouri.
Legend is saying Don Rosa is awesome, and I Got Issues says it's pronounced Gurids or Jared's. I'm not sure. I'm gonna try to do my best. Jared.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Don Rosa, Uncle Scrooge. The whole series is great. But don't have him sign a Darkwing Duck. I heard he doesn't like that.
Oh man.
Next month in the New York area, you're at Big Apple Comic Con. You got a bunch of celebrities there. A few I'm gonna just bring out there is Bill Shatner, William Shatner himself, Mike Coulter, Luke Cage, and John O'Hurley's gonna be there. If you're a Seinfeld fan, it's Jake.
Yeah.
So there you go. And the artists there, honestly, they knocked it out of the park. I'm just going to name 4 off the top, but there's a lot of other ones. Frank Cho, Jim Steranko, Asad Rebic, who I know doesn't do a lot of cons. I've spoken to him before. He doesn't like to travel much. He has young kids. And from a very special era, Cy Barry, who, if you don't know who Cy Barry is, a couple of you guys might know this, the King Phantom, the purple, the Billy Zane.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Phantom from the King series, which was in the mid-60s to the 70s. Cy Barry, who drew all of those, as well as Tarzan's and Flash Gordon's, is going to be there, and he does sketches, too. The one there.
You had me at Frank Cho and Jim Steranko, so I was done at those two right there.
Yeah, here's one that I just want to point out. If anybody's in the Ohio area, Fantastic Con in Toledo. While it's not a big con, this is very small, cheap to get into, but it has a few artists there I just want to throw out too, including Jerry Conway, the guy who invented the Punisher, right there. Bob Hall, who was an editor of Marvel during the 70s and 80s and drew many Avengers covers, many Moon Knight covers, Thor covers as well during the 70s, 80s run. He's a local guy here, but he's going to be in Ohio that weekend. And Daryl Banks, for anybody who likes Green Lantern, I'm pretty sure he did most of a lot of Green Lantern work during that time. The following weekend, 3/14, you're talking Emerald City Comic Con is probably going to be the high one there. A lot of celebrities there, but none as big as Mr. Bueller himself.
I was going to say. And I know that Bueller had an interview with the creator of the Punisher, Conway, at his last Comic Con at Emerald City, I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's what's really good is bet you Sam will be there too from Sam's Tangled Web. But Bueller will be there,
Architect.
and you're right. CC Witter's right. Daryl Banks is one of the best commissioned people you can hire for the price. He is an underrated, great artist right there. But at Emerald City, you've got some celebrities there. You got the Boy Meets World cast. I don't know if anybody cares, but there's one guy who's really cool. William Daniels is in that, and that's the voice of Kit, Knight Rider. Also,
Oh man,
yeah, I forgot
awesome.
on that
so
show.
that would be something pretty cool.
Good peg.
And
I want to say, before you move too far, Spector threw out Sam's Tangled Web's going to be there. The architect,
right?
Show respect to the architect.
There you go. Then you've got the Stranger Things kids. A few of them are going to be there. George Takei, Mr. Sulu.
Oh my!
I think it's
Gwendolyn.
Right? It's
Gwendolyn.
Takei, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, George Takei. Gwendolyn Christie, who is Brianna Tarth on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
As well as Captain Phasma, and if you got a red, apparently she likes you. Rainn Wilson will be there as well. Most notably known for being Dwight on The Office. The guy who played Ron Weasley.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and now the artist I'm going to throw out there is Donnie Cates. He's there again.
I tell you, that guy promotes, man.
He's out there now. Kelly Sue DeConnick is going to be there, and the reason why I'm mentioning her is that's a week after Captain Marvel comes out, and they're basing it on her books, so that gives you get a chance. Kelly Sue DeConnick, I mean, she's going to be there signing books, getting sketches, and if that movie takes off, she's going to be up there with Jim Starlin and everything else eventually. So there, Mark will be there, and Mike Deodato Jr., Neil Adams.
Ryan is saying that the Comic Tom and he are going to be there as well. So
nice. Fire Guy Ryan.
YouTube power.
So the celebrities include Bueller, Fire Guy Ryan, Comic Tom 101, and Sam, the architect of Tangled Web. Look at that. As well as Neil Adams, Philip Tan, and Rob Liefeld.
Man, Philip Tan. Woo.
I always put Rob Liefeld last. That's my own thing. Now, the next weekend should need no introduction. Two of us on this Comic Core 2 are going here. And I expect about 6 or 7 other ones that are in the chat. At least are going to go there. It's C2E2 in Chicago.
Holy moly!
It's going to be there. It is going to be one big house of ill repute, and it's going to be all. We are going to sit there.
Talk about your jerks, right?
Yeah, we're going to be going there. You're going to have the great legend will be there. Shout out everybody in the chat. If anybody's going to C2E2, just shout out that you're going to be there. There'll be a meetup. Chuck Loda Comics, great guy, has got a booth in the Artist Alley. We've had a few discussions. Chad and we put out a video about it. Kat Wren will be there. There is going to be some cosplay action. I will definitely have some cosplay. We'll be broadcasting quite a bit on there. Celebrities wise, there's plenty of them from Ant-Man, Paul Rudd. The whole crew of Clueless is there. But if you don't get a chance to meet Alicia Silverstone and you don't see Chad and I, you know why. Who else is that?
I just want to meet Donald Faison. I'm a huge Scrubs fan, and he's in Clueless.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, he's there, and then you have a bunch of other celebrities and stuff like that. Don't really care about those. But as far as the artists go, Clark Gregg is going to be there from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he's starting to do cons, but he hasn't done many.
Now, is it Jason or Israel? Who's going to C2E2 there?
I am. We both are, actually. Yeah,
oh, geez.
So three of us.
I'm the only jerk who's not going.
John, why aren't you going to come with us, buddy? Come on.
I live a long way from Chicago. That's why.
Oh, man.
It costs money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Kachong, I will be cosplaying, I promise. Weird ones. So that's C2E2 artists that are going to be there. Everybody from Stephanie Hans to Jenny Frison to Neil Adams. There's so many good people are going to be there. We're going to be talking. We don't want to spoil it because we're going to be bringing people over. So you can go to the site, C2E2. You can see how many people are going to be there. They'll be drinking, having a good time. Lots of fun, lots of drinking. I'm hearing lots. That's a good thing. And there you go. And then the following weekend, there are 2 cons I want to bring up. First one, I'm going to bring up one I'm going to. If you're in the Midwest at all, Kansas City, Missouri is doing Planet Comic Con, which is probably the Midwest, west of Chicago, probably the best one of the year. There, celebrity-wise, Bill Shatner, Fonzie, Henry Winkler, and Katie Sackhoff, who plays Starbuck on the new Battlestar Galactica, and she's in other things, but so say we all. Katie Sackhoff is something going to be nice to meet.
Yes.
So if you're talking about artists and everybody that's going to be there, this is a lineup that I'm just going to shout out as my favorite lineup. Jason Aaron, Scotty Young, Mark Bagley, Jim Starlin, Chris Claremont, Bob McLeod, Jim Steranko, and Don Rosa are just.
Oh my God.
That is just the older guys that I recognized as soon as their picture came up, where I didn't even look who the other people were. But
I'm hoping that Claremont makes it to a convention out near me at some point, something I can go to, because that's the guy.
Oliver Koppel is also going to be there, and he doesn't do cons often, and I think that's great that he'll be there. And the next one, John, I think you're going to, which is SIL 329 weekend, which is.
I have a Comic Con I can talk about.
Let's talk about WonderCon.
Nobody cares. I'm the only one that's going. Everybody else is going C2E2 or Emerald City.
Oh.
So our only celebrity.
I've only been to one Comic Con, and it was Cali Comic Con. I did a little video with my girls on it. It was not, there's no cosplay, very few signings. It was really just a book selling Comic Con. And I'm excited to then now take the girls and experience a very different kind of Comic Con, the more, I guess you'd say, modern, traditional. And the only person I know for sure that I'm pumped to go see, besides Donnie Cates, who's at all of these things, is Joelle Jones. And I went and got some of her Lady Killer, which I hear is excellent. Just because I knew she was going to be there, I thought, if I snag some of these and get her to sign them and talk a little shop with her, it could be awesome. But that's off the top of my head. Those are the ones I had heard about. Did you have someone else you wanted to throw in there, JD? Or
no, that's pretty much it right there. I didn't want to. WonderCon, I know there was a few celebrities and people are going to go there, but I know Jeffrey Comic-Con is going. I know that. He told me he will be going. So that should be a good time. Jeffrey and John at it again.
Now, Jason, was there any other Comic-Cons you have planned coming up that you wanted to go to besides C2E2?
Well, last year I did Baltimore Comic Con with Chad from Comic Core. He got us press passes, and that was awesome. And then I did New York Comic Con. That was a blast. So I don't know. I got to see after C2E2. I really want to do New York again. But Baltimore was really cool because it was such a small area and there were so many people there. You were able to get all your stuff signed really, really fast. So I don't know. So it's very tempting, but we'll see. We'll see.
What about you, Israel? Are there other ones that you're going to that you're thinking of trying to fit in?
You know what? Honestly, this is the first time that I've ever even gone to a con. So C2E2, man, C2E2 for me is going to be, I feel, extremely overwhelming, but
it's going to be expensive, right?
Yeah, but going down there, for me, I feel that it's more about just going down there and seeing everybody. I mean, because there's going to be people from all these different communities that we know, and it's going to be amazing to see people like in the flesh, like, oh my God, there's the legend, and oh my God, there's, just everybody, right? It's going to be a blast. But as far as other ones, man, I don't know. I'll see how C2E2 goes, and then maybe I'll try to get something a little bit later in the year. Just try to pace myself.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I brought a small set of money with me and the girls when we went to our little con, and I only kept myself to that budget. But I could see very quickly how going to cons regularly without being able to sell them would be a huge drain on book buying outside of a con. So for me, like, I was like, okay, I'm going to do these two this year, but I don't know how many more I can possibly fit in as well. It seems like in the chat, lots of C2E2 love, lots of New York Comic Con love.
Yeah.
I saw a Star Wars con at Chicago in April.
Ooh, yeah, that's Star Wars Celebration. That's a big time con.
Oh boy.
So watch out. We'll be doing a comic convention watch every 2 weeks, just to give you an update on maybe new people who are added to rosters, new cons that are coming up. So just keep an eye out every 2 weeks. We'll give you a little comic convention breakdown. Our third segment, we're running right on schedule. This is fantastic. I love this. We are doing market news. We're not all speculators or anything like that, but we can certainly see, based on time we go on eBay and on Instagram and the auctions that we dive into, things that are happening with certain books, things that we are noticing. And so our job is hopefully just to give you a little insight on what we're seeing, and maybe that connects to what you're seeing, or maybe this is new information that you can then add to your roster. This week, that's going to be run by Mr. Israel at Comic Spector, the guy who shows up and runs so many awesome auctions and sells so many cool things. What are you noticing in the Comic Watch?
Well, what I've been noticing since I've actually come back to collecting is that there is definitely a trend towards the new big thing, the hot covers, the variants. It's really about the artists. The covers sell and they sell good. So our Clayton Cranes, our Art Germs, all these like super exclusive limited print runs, like 2000, and that's it. For instance, like we have the big one coming up, which is Detective Comics 1000, and of course, we have every artist under the sun, doing that. And I personally myself, I jumped on the bandwagon and I picked up a couple
It's hard not to.
It is like Art Germ had some like exclusives. I know Alex Ross had some exclusives that sold out just like they were within minutes. It was crazy. And if you go like to eBay and you check these books out, oh my gosh, like I think one set went for like over $250 with just 3 books. So I mean, the hot art in the new books seems to be what's really trending for sales for newer collectors anyhow. I know JD has a lot of really, really good input on this too, so I'll defer to him on this now.
No worries. I absolutely agree with you on the Detective 1000. I'm actually going to get the Bernie Wrightson, but there's no surprise with that at all.
Well, I will say for people that are like worried, because I don't know what the price tag. Do you know anybody know the price tag on the like the cover price for like A and B covers, like the basics?
It's like right around $9.
Yeah.
Because it was the same for the Superman when they had an issue 1000 there. And I know that Bueller still jokes that he goes to his LCS and can find cover A in the dollar bins or in the 50% off bin or whatever. Yeah. So if you don't want one of those rare exclusives, if you just want the read, the patience of a guy like Bueller should let you know it's going to pay off. There will be books to be bought.
I keep missing out on the Alex Ross variant cover. And they sent an email, and I missed it again. I was so mad at myself. So one day.
I'm right there with you. I was at work, and I actually had it. It was on my phone, and I was doing something, and like literally it popped up. And I'm not even kidding, man. By the time I got into it to do it, it was over. It was that fast. It was crazy.
I had one little tear as I was scrolling through.
I've actually heard that there's a place in Canada that's been that kind of has been delaying their release of some of the variants. Mutant Beaver, I think their name is.
Yes.
And I've heard that they are delaying a few of theirs. So. Anyway,
in the chat, somebody is saying that the Jock cover and the Frank Miller are the ones that they are ordering for that Batman.
Very nice. Yeah, they're good covers.
One of the things about this segment here, I looked at modern comics that were heating up on eBay through various sites here and there I checked out, and I'm just going to throw out a few names here. One I have personal that I actually did sell. So anyway, it's Ray Zero is out. Ray Zero glossy last week in a 9.8 sold for over $500.
That's probably the hottest book right now. That was
probably a $2 book a couple of years ago. I mean,
and I'll tell you, I just watch White Whale, and whatever I see him going after is probably what's going to be spiking. The dude has now got 2 of those now.
The next set I'm going to give is Immortal Hulk. Any of them. I sold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 through 10. All the first prints for over $140. And I was actually shocked. I wasn't looking for that much. I was like, it's a hot book, and this is what I usually do is I take that money, and I did buy Grail, so it went to a good cause. And I was sitting there, and I'm like, you know what? I have this. The trades are out. I'm going to read it again. I don't really like keeping newer comics as much as it's not enough space. At the same point in time, the opportunity to jump on something like this. I'm not saying everybody should sell, but I'm just saying.
No, but it's definitely a seller's market on that book right now, no question.
I mean, I was very fortunate.
Legend says Ray Zero ain't no Ray D. Play Ray D is a Grail.
Now we're hearing that the Bloodshots are probably heating up on the Valiant side. And another book, which is no shocker, how that it's on my. I'm not making a list or anything else, but it's Umbrella Academy. I don't own one.
Mm-hmm.
Umbrella Academy, and the joke is that it's just a Netflix show, but I don't think you could say just a Netflix show anymore, because the hype, while it didn't affect Marvel as much, it did affect the Luke Cage run, not really, and some Iron Fist. Never really affected Daredevil. He was always an icon, and Elektra was always an icon. But as far as what Netflix has done is the Umbrella Academy it's a very highly accepted show. It's a comic show that is well liked by most of the comic community. I believe it's got some of the best reviews by comic fans. But Umbrella Academy is setting new records every day. That's the modern side. On the
do you guys think that the Umbrella Academy is spiking more maybe than those others because it was so unheard of beforehand, and because so few people knew about it before the show premiered?
I think that's the case.
And I know everybody I spoke to is selling like the end of Trading Places. You know, they're selling.
Blasted or Stash, it says they're going to be selling some Immortal Hulk on their auction tomorrow night. So if you guys want Immortal Hulk,
very cool.
Check out Blasted or Stash it tomorrow night.
In the Bronze Age, which I'm going to combine copper and bronze together because it's always debatable right there. Some new hides. There's a lot of the Spider-Man 29.99s that were dollar bin books are kind of going for a lot higher now. New records for Hulk 180s in the 8.5 and the 9.0 category this week. I'm
sorry, I couldn't hear that one. What was that? Say that one again.
Hulk 180, the cameo appearance of that 5'4" Canadian guy.
So it would have been good to pick that one up, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it was a good pickup.
Yeah.
Doom Patrols are setting their new highs left and right. Another one that kind of hit really shocking was how high Werewolf by Nights have been going for.
It's been blazing.
A lot of guys on the CGC website were saying that I would never have gotten anything below a 7 graded before. Now I'm grading 4s and 5s. So that gives you. So expect an influx of graded books, but you know, it's first Moon Knight, and there's rumors.
Which I always feel like Moon Knight's been one of those characters. You mentioned Daredevil, JD, as having something of a notoriety and been able to maintain. But Moon Knight is almost on the same level for me in the sense that, like, there's been no movie, there's been no signed deals, there's been no anything, and yet the level of maintenance, on so many, whether it's his first appearance or his first solo issue or whatever, I feel like it's everywhere. The fever.
I mean, he is the Marvel version of Batman, kind of, in a way, because he's at night and stuff like that. Like kind of I guess Iron Man would be, but as well, but more or less that, it's kind of one of those things. You just look at it, and when I mean record sales, I mean, this is recently going on in the last week or so, where I've seen people that, and I know if you can look at Gold Collect, you can look at the GPA averages or whatnot, you can just see the increases in these.
Well, Jason or Israel, do you guys are you Moon Knight fans? Do you guys collect any Moon Knight? Is that a thing for you guys?
I used to collect Moon Knight back in the day, and I really enjoyed the character. As far as like right now, I haven't been reading it. I think that the character itself is pretty good. I kind of akin the character to almost like Green Arrow, kind of like they could adapt him easily to a television show for his own series, because I mean he's that's literally what he is. I mean it's just whether or not Marvel will do it.
Right. The thing with that is it's a great point. You don't need mega special effects for Moon Knight.
Exactly.
You don't need a Hulk. You don't need a Thanos, a Chitauri, or anything crazy, or you don't need Doctor Strange with kind of the other universes. Moon Knight is pretty much he's there, and he's at night, and he's taking out guys what he's got to do. I mean, you might have to do some stuff with the.
It seems more like Blade in that way, that you have the villains that are classic monsters, but then you've got you've got the hero that is the solo guy. You don't need like a team,
right.
Yeah, I was gonna say you might need some CG to keep the suit white.
Oh, that's true.
but yeah. I have the whole entire hardcover edition of the Lemire Moon Knight run,
which is a great run.
I love that run. So yeah.
The Silver Ages that have set records in the past week and a half, and one, I'm just going to go through 4 of them first, have been ASM 13, first appearance of Mysterio.
Which would totally make sense, yeah.
Fantastic Four 65, which is the first appearance of Ronan the Accuser. The reason why that's going high is it's hard to get in a good grade, we understand that. But in addition to that, the more and more Captain Marvel movies coming out, the higher prominence that Ronan plays in the entire Marvel universe comes in. The Tales of Suspense 52, first appearance of Black Widow. Black Widow's movie is signed, sealed, delivered, and ready to start filming soon. Scarlett Johansson is signed on. I'm going to recommend that if you want one of these Tales of Suspense 52, you don't wait, because a character like Black Widow, who is signed, I believe she's signed for about 3 more movies. Black Widow can have her one solo movie, but she can always be in a few other movies. Another one, I'm going to hit the DC market here, is for all you Green Lantern fans, Matty Thanatos, Showcase 22 hit a new high in 6 and 7 grades this week. And the book everybody talks about in the Silver Age for this year is Tales of Suspense 39. It's a very high-end book. Don't get me wrong. It is what it is. But they consider that to be the next Hulk 1 / higher than Journey 83. First appearance of Iron Man. And on the gold side, just for any of my gold lovers out there, if you watched last night, if you saw the Brenda Starr 14 go for $9,000, but no, that was way high.
Yeah.
Great cover, but it went for it. And if you don't know, I bet you it was 2 guys going at it. You know, that's what we were talking about. DS Comics and Knights of Old and I were talking about it. And the hot guy right now of the Golden Age, really no surprise, but if you don't know who he is, it's LB Cole. It's his horror covers. It's the spider covers. A good example of that would be Startling Terror Tales number 11. All new records this past 6 months. I mean, and I think just the other day another one just hit. And actually, I want to give a shout out to CBSI and Comic Con, because they mentioned it as an alternate, saying, well, they don't really do golds. Golden Age Guru said it. We were talking about it on a different show. I was saying that book is just, the spiders are just going crazy. So
Great Legend says he sold his Showcase 22 4.5 last year and got a 6.5 Showcase 22. And then Seawood says 22 is going to be a Grail book he's looking to get.
Very cool. I mean, it is first Green Lantern. I mean, Showcase 4, Showcase 22. While they are very high-end books, and I did mention the silver high-end books, but these are setting new highs in different grades. So I don't mean it's the all-time highest it's ever going to be. I'm saying that a 5, which say the peak before that was $2,000 on a book, hit $3,000 this past.
Right.
So, and that's where the man comes in.
Jason, were there any things that you've noticed in your hunt, whether you're on eBay or in auctions or on Instagram, what you've seen, books that you think are going up that you're like, oh, get on board now or stay away now? Maybe it's not the right time to buy them.
Myself, no. I've been on eBay a good bit, but it's mostly just certain honed-in things that are not so popular at the moment right now. So, like, for instance, like some of the Vampirellas, as you know, I was hunting down was the Enric covers. And so, I love that art, so I'm trying to hunt those down. But right now, no one's talking about them. So,
yeah.
So hopefully, none of you start looking at that. Keep away so I can buy it at a decent price.
Well, that's the thing, right? Yeah, like it's hard to know. Is this the time to buy or is this the time to wait?
Right. And once again, collect what you love. And so that's exactly. Chasing chasing what I love right now. So. Once I get that stuff done, there's some other stuff I have in mind, but that's for another day. How about you, Spector? What do you got going on?
Well, for me, as far as what I've been getting picked up, I'm one of those trendy guys. I'm not gonna lie. I like a lot of the covers, so I do fish a lot on some of those exclusive sites, and I try to get stuff when it's on sale. Usually almost at half price. And so I'll try to snag my Clayton Cranes and my Mayhews and my Miko Soyans. And, I'll try to get all that stuff. And I'll try to get the ones that are like important, like I'll try to get the ones that are like keys or minor keys, like the number ones that people really want and stuff. So So then, next weekend when we're having an auction over at the Great Legend Show, maybe that's what we'll have,
Well, Big Lion Cat. I saw you on Big Lion Cat just not that long ago. He's another guy with great auctions.
Exactly.
I'm actually gonna be on Great Legend this Saturday, my first live YouTube auction.
Oh,
nice.
You and me, buddy. You and me again.
Yeah, everybody saved a little money because on Sunday, Alec from Whitewall Comics, he's throwing an auction. So you got lots of chances to pick up some good stuff for a good deal.
Alec might run out of money in my auction.
That's true. Well, then he'll need to have an auction to sell sell some stuff. I've only got a little bit of time left before I got to jump over to the book club, so I may bail out a little early, but I'm going to start off our final segment of the night. We want to end each episode with a little community roundup, channels that we're enjoying, videos that we've seen lately, some shout outs to some people, the kinds of things that we are enjoying, plus maybe some of the stuff that we're going to be doing coming up, whether it's an auction like JD's throwing out here or a video that we might be dropping up here in the coming weeks. So for me, I wanted to shout out Jason P or JP Budget Collecting. I've been really enjoying his channel. He's been doing these weekly videos where he looks back 6 months ago at the Hot 10 list from CBSI to look at what's held its value, what's gone back down, or what can you get at a steal. So he goes through and sort of recaps. He's got great analytics, and he really just breaks it down in a way that makes me as the reader and audience really understand the value of what he's talking about. So if you don't know Jason P or JP Budget Collecting, he's definitely worth the time to check out. For me, the rest of the week, I'm going to probably do an unboxing. I wanted to share that I did my Max Pro Supply order, and I did this like epic 5-hour stream where I did 2 hours one day and 3 hours the next day, reorganizing all of my boxes and redoing
nice boxes.
I really enjoyed their things, and they were really, really helpful. And there was an item missing. I had ordered some dividers that were missing. They said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." They jumped into my live stream, one of them, and said, "We'll take care of it." A giant box arrived today. It was clearly far bigger than just some dividers, which would have been like a Gemini mailer practically. So I've got an unboxing to do for that. Nice. And I'll be sharing some of those items I've got in there. And then, like I said, I'm going to be on the book club in about 5 minutes with Alec. And then I'm on his auction on Sunday night. It'll be 6:30 Eastern. So it'll be a slightly early. No. Yeah, I think that's right. So, check my Instagram. I'll have it, but we're going to have an auction on his channel and be selling some things there. Let's jump over to Comic Spector. Anything that you've got, any channels that you've been enjoying or videos or anything coming up on your channel?
Yeah, actually, this month I actually started doing a feature where when I do my monthly giveaway thing, I'm actually trying to promote and bring in people that have that I find interesting, their channels that have next to no subscribers, and try to make them known to the community. So, I throw them out there. Specifically this month, a couple of them. One individual is Oddsock Comics. He just recently started making videos, and he's doing them weekly, and he does his hauls, and he really showcases the artwork that he loves. I know that he's a huge fan of Art Germ, which, that's great artist. So
yeah, my girls obviously every week I feel like they're always trying to make me grab a new Art Germ. I've been keeping away from the Wonder Woman covers really well, but I've got the Supergirl ones to last me a lifetime.
Yep. And another individual that I recently I've actually talked to him a little bit through just the comments and some emails and Instagram and stuff was Genome Presents, and he's been a collector for a while. He does a lot of other content. But man, the content that he makes, the production value of it to me is just astounding. He uses the green screen and just it just blows me away to see.
And you can tell how much work and time they're putting into
editing. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, when it's Joe Ryan or a Bueller or a one of those people that you could Discovery Bay, you can tell just how much time they're putting into that.
Yeah, so. I put up my videos and I'm I edit it, and I'm like, man, it takes quite a while, but it's nothing compared to what these other people do, right?
Okay, I'm gonna duck out. Thanks so much, guys, for doing this and letting me hang out with you guys, and thanks for everybody in the chat, and of course to Chad and Bueller and everybody. Check us out again in 2 weeks, but you guys hang out with these guys, finish the show, and then come over and join us at Whitewall Comics channel. But Thank you so much. Comic Con Unlimited rocks, and I appreciate all the hard work from everybody in this group here. And I can't wait for 2 more weeks.
Yes, I'll be in the chat, John. I'll be in the chat for White Whale. So
awesome.
I'll see you
Thanks,
there.
guys.
Yep.
Bye, JD.
Take it easy.
Bye, Jay.
As far as like stuff I'm doing, I know that this week I'm going to be working on getting my new comic book day video out for next week. I always try to do my my forecasted polls, books that I'm interested in, cover art, stories, things of that nature. So I'll be getting that up probably Friday. Other than that, I know I have a big haul video that I got to do. I got this gigantic stack of books that it's just been building forever. So, you know, it never ends, right, guys?
Oh, totally, always.
But
That's
all I got. So who's up next?
Yeah, I just want to shout out Comic Cat 84 really quick. Our homie 90 MF Comics. You know, starting to see who else. Chino Comics and more. All great channels. Shout out to White Whale, which we're going to be on, be ending real soon, so we can go over to his channel and check out the review of Die. But shout out to Alec real quick again for his Missing Pieces comic. Looking forward to reading that. And yeah, and that's a wrap for me as well.
awesome.
How about you, JD?
Well, I'm going to give a shout out to subscriber. He only has 92 subscribers, but he has 92 subscribers. His name is Big Geek Comics, and he's a 2019 YouTuber. Started in December, but I really saw him ramp up recently. And his content is it's unboxings, it's talking. He's got ways you can save money on dividers. He just has a really good channel. I please recommend everybody got it. It's Big Geek Comics. I'll put a link to his and all these channels. We'll try to put a link to this in the replay if anybody does that. But he's really good. His content is really good. He did a great haul. His hauls have been really good. He's definitely somebody I'm going to invite onto a future show with me at some point.
It's awesome.
He did real well. Another one is Big Will. I don't know if anybody's caught
Yes.
channel. He's been really good, and he is a fan of the community. And I want to just say that it's a pleasure for me to do a show with him because he is so great, and he is the biggest Alex Ross fan I've ever met.
Nice, very nice.
And I think that's great. We had a great dialogue, and it was great. And Jeffrey Comic Con and him do a coast to coast show, I think it's called, or something. They did a show. It's great. It's good stuff. And as far as my channel is, or what I'm doing on YouTube, this week, tomorrow, I will be on What's Your Grail, or Who's Your Grail, or with Tony Sanders.
Sanders, yep.
That'll be fun. I'm going to show various grails I have of my favorite characters. So I consider this a grail of this character. So I'll show a few books of that. That's fun. And then on Friday, we have The Hunt on Tony Sanders' channel again. That'll be Jeffrey Comic Con and Tony and myself, and we have a special guest. It'll be good. The Hunt is going to be fun this week because I'm going to throw some golds out there as well.
Nice.
So Saturday, I will be on with the Big Legend auction, my first auction, as we mentioned earlier. And then I have 2 shows that I'm working on right now. We have a show coming on the 12th of March. I'm just going to announce it early. Stranger Things Part 2, which is TJ Watson.
TJ.
We're going to have
TJ so much.
We are going to have 90 MF Comics on with us his special guest. And we're going to be talking Stranger Things about statues. And it's going to be educational. We're going to show a lot of sideshows and a lot of statues. I don't have that many. So I just really want to learn, how do you get them? What do you do with them? How do you keep your kids away from them? Anything like right? But that's going to be that show, and that'll be a really good one because it's the MCE group, which Chad's a part of, which focuses primarily on statues. They're going to give, and TJ has he's got a great comic collection. He's got the Slab Dragon, but the Slab Dragon also has quite a few statues, so it'll be great. And then we're working on a new show with DS Comics and King of the Old. We are working on a show called The Golden Guys, where we are going to be 3 guys and a special guest every once in a while discussing the Golden Age, where it is in the market, what we're doing, what we're buying, what we're seeing. And the reason why it's us 3 and there is we're going to cover everything from timely to horror to romance to westerns for all you Western fans, to Jungle Books, which is my specialty. Jungle and crime would be my specialty. Just good stuff like that, and that's what we're looking forward to. So
that sounds amazing.
Yeah,
I'm super pumped for that.
Nice.
Well, we're at an hour. Perfect timing, gents, for first show. Great job, great run. And I thought we did a good direction. But I think that's it. Who has control of the show? You guys want to say last goodbyes? Right?
Sure. Thank you, everybody in the chat again. And yes, we will have an Estelle Getty every week for the Golden Guys. And Great Legend, you're definitely on our list, as well as a few others in the chat that we talked about. So let's just say thanks again to everybody who joined us. I thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for coming out. Everybody that joined us in chat tonight. I know we had well over 35. I think we got over 40 at one point. Yeah. And, man, just for our first show, seriously, I think that the entire panel did phenomenal. It's great seeing so many people come out to watch the first stream. And I know that I myself am looking forward to 2 weeks from now get to do it again and talk about some great comic book content.
Oh, for sure. Shout out to Pope Celebs the First. He does some great stuff. And the chat, Great Legend, holding it down with the Blue Wrench and Jeffrey Comic Con. C. Woodard, our homies in Comic Core. You gotta love them. You gotta catch them every Friday. And we're gonna say goodnight. And I'm gonna see all of you guys. Not sure who's gonna go, but I'm gonna go to Whitewall's channel and catch out the review of Die. So
Very much.
See you in the chat.
Talk to you guys later.
Later, guys.